Are you living an awakened, conscious life? And why that might be really important for so many reasons. I'm here in my robe at Canyon Ranch in total yin vibes, really just letting go and being in the flow, which is truly something I really needed and every other woman here needed. It's a big group of women and a couple lovely men. And my intention was to literally connect, expand with Deepak, obviously. And I didn't even expect that this would be such a healing journey. But of course it is, because when you come into the proximity field of a healer, the truth of what you are living is going to reveal itself. And then it's a beautiful place to reflect and look in, and always to look in, because so much of where we are seeking happiness and joy and fulfillment is in the external world. And with this world being right now projecting a lot of insanity, literally insane, is essentially the memory of collective trauma. And so if you can think about an 8-year-old child wanting to be joyful, wanting to be playful, wanting to have a lot of fun, but all of these cellular memories of pain and torture and harm is the victimized triangulation triangle. So if you look at psychology, you'll know that. So coming back to the Ayurvedic, and not even, it wasn't really Ayurvedic, centric, but it was living in the light centric, awakened life. And we're gonna hear a lot of the awakened life and what actually is awakening. And at one point, Deepak put up a chart about, the stages of awakening. And, I nodded through all of them as having two profound spiritual awakenings myself, which really brings you back to ultimate internal I amness, where we understand that we all 100% are one, and that some of this insanity happening on the planet is due to memory cords of victimization. And so one question that was asked at the end of the seminar was, it was so funny because Deepak really beautifully and eloquently spoke to this. And then someone right away, as he said, we have to get out of the victimization. What someone did was put up their hand and said, I'm a victim of blah, 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 and went into her story. And so essentially his answer, which really is the ultimate, most simple truth of all the things, is the memories of victimization need to be overshadowed with positive memories. Okay. So, and this is something I've been working on personally for many years, so I can speak to it through experience, but it's very fascinating to watch the human conditioning, to observe it and realize how obsessed we are about the victim story. This is the easiest thing to do, is to go back. And when I've done past life regressions with people and seen past lives in my healing practice, eventually I was like, we cannot continuously talk about the past lives as victims, because this is where people really want to dig in, is like, oh, my mom, and what did she do to me? And oh, the person in front of me, what did they do to me? And then what we do is we keep the memory alive by feeding it. So when people come for healing, they're so obsessed about past lives, which is very important, but you would have countless numbers of past lives that we could heal forever. So as a healer, my biggest intent was to find the fastest way to heal trauma from a victim perspective. All right. So much of that is really where the work is going to be done. And what I've learned is tapping into higher level consciousness is going to be the best way. Now, if we go back to the practice of Vedic principles, for sure we were much more enlightened in this space of yoga, which I believe was downloaded through higher wisdom. And we were much more aware because we weren't so obsessed with the physical world yet. And so we developed the wisdom from a place of a much more enlightened state. So any Vedic principles, any yogic principles certainly are going to be a really good baseline to have an understanding of, because if you look at so many healing modalities that have come forward, I'm not going to get into those, but they all go back to this really old practice of yoga. And I remember being in healing sessions before and doing Zoom calls with clients, and I would have mudras come out of my cellular memory. And I was aware that I was part of the yogic movement in another lifetime. And so I have no question that the architect of my existence, the architectural memory of my existence was definitely connected to a very ancient aspect of myself. And that has been probably why I've had such great results with people that I work with, because we are held in what I call a quantum field of consciousness, where people feel immediately at peace, where they have the ability to be held in a very peaceful space outside of that victimized memory. All right. So what I want to say that through this whole awakened life, when the chart came up with all of the steps, the one thing I didn't see on there was the blissful state. The blissful state. So when we go through these awakenings, I will post a chart of the awakened state and the stages that scientifically have been discovered. And the only one I didn't see on there right away, I was like, the bliss state wasn't spoken about. Because when we can achieve a bliss state, we can overshadow the memories of pain and suffering. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't still come up. Trauma response, 100%. I've been in one since, the fight-flight system kicked in when we were in a trailer with twins evacuated from a fire. So that was a very good test for me to witness trauma in real time, to apply everything that I know as a healer about how to process trauma in real time, and to now land in Mexico with bare feet and be connected to nature, which I think is know that it is the best healer to have our feet in the ground, to be grounded, and to be connected in the earth, looking ideally at a horizon line or sitting in nature, which will rewire our trauma system if we allow ourselves to slow down into a state of receptivity, which has been really a part of this. So what I want to just wind back in, because I really believe that these healing experiences are going to be very crucial for us moving forward. The more of us that can awaken, the more of us that can hold peace, well-being, consciousness in a state of calm, the more of us that can do that, the better it's going to be. And of course, I've met wonderful women here and connected with women because that was my intention. And I love the love that happens in a space of realness, human to human, eye to eye, beyond the screen. It is, being in the field is so good. And what I've seen, and this has been such a witness in my last couple of years in the high ticket online coaching industry, trying to go into this industry and being like, who am I and how do I market myself? This has been a freaking struggle for me, I'm not going to lie. And it has been painful also in many ways, which I thought was interesting. And to me, bottom line is, anytime you are ignored, it's abuse. And I have such a self-respect and such a respect for other people that ignoring someone when there's a heightened sense of awareness and possibility, and things are evolving into a beautiful way through a sense of connection or connectedness. And one of the experiences I had in this industry was I'm going to speak about this in an article in Brains, but I didn't want to come from a victim perspective. I always look at every experience as, even if it caused pain, what can I learn from this? What did I contribute to this? What responsibility can I take from this? And then get back to the value and the moral that I know we all have. We all have this intrinsic value system, moral, that is deep in our coding. And if we override that, it hurts, not just for us, but for other people, and it impacts other people. So, not to say I'm perfect. Please do not ever I am human, bottom line, we're all human, and so we're going to react and respond sometimes due to our own wounds, which is why it's so important to end the triangulation story. This is going to be huge in our movement forward. So much of my work, I'm aware, moving forward is going to be the future of awakening, and I'm going to speak about that a lot, and my purpose is to create luxurious experiences where women, specifically women, but also men, are welcome in my world to move into a higher state of consciousness and create a more stress-free life. And people don't even know what that is anymore. Like, what's a stress-free life? We don't believe that to even be possible. But if we look at our choices and how we're obsessed in this world about things and all of it, I am so aware that we need to actually simplify and get back to the basics, even though, yes, we all want to have, like, I'm clearly, I love the high end life. And I feel like when we have resources that support our wellness and our well being, we're not meant to live in this crazy survival state anymore. The fact that people are still living in survival state and fight and flight state, to me, is a very good indicator of where we're at. And when you think about why we're there, it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. Look around the world we've created, and it's amazing our capacity to create the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, the Tower, the Tower in Paris. It's not coming to my mind. That's hilarious. The Eiffel Tower. I mean, we are geniuses in a creational form, and everything we see around us is a desire of what we wanted to create. And then you look at the human, where are we? Where are you? How stressed are you in your life? And if you could look at your life as, 0 being, I'm not stressed at all, and 10 being highly stressed, put yourself there. And I would suggest that every single day you try to keep that barometer at a 2. At a 2. So I'm going to talk more about this, but I wanted to recap this incredible experience. I made a couple other videos that I'll probably share, but I wanted to try to keep this one out around 10 minutes. If you're still with me, bless your soul, because it means you are on your way to enlightenment. I'm so grateful for this experience with Deepak. I'm so excited for the present moment, and also for the future moment, and also realizing that we have deep and powerful capacity to regulate ourselves, to observe ourselves, to slow down, to breathe, to help each other walk home. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time.